If you are struggling with your makeup, you're not sure about placement, you want to do a really, really simple, kind of a no fuss looking makeup, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to talk about foundation application. I'm going to talk about concealing applications. I'm going to talk about eyeshadow. We're going to get into all of it. So I'm going to have one side of my face done, the other side isn't. So you can kind of see the difference. And then I'm going to go step by step and show you how to apply your makeup. Started on this side, I'm going to show you what I did with lots of tips. So, first thing you want to do before you start your makeup is you want to prep your skin. I have a skincare routine, and so my skin's already prepped. Now, the last thing that I do in my skincare is put sunscreen on. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not wearing it today, but normally I do have sunscreen on. However, moisturizer is part of that routine too. So you want to make sure that your skin is hydrated. If you have dry, patchy skin, that anything that you put on it is going to look, it's just going to enhance it. Okay. So you've got to make sure that you are taking care of your skin. There's acids that I use as part of my skincare routine. I've actually been using them more recently. I've had some breakouts, so I've upped using my acids. And I don't use a lot of acids. I shouldn't say it like that. I use an acid pretty much every single day, but I really pay attention to my skin. If my skin seems a little irritated for some reason or whatever, then I back off of it, but otherwise I pretty much have been using it every day. The Paula's Choice salicylic acid, you can actually use that twice a day. So you want to do that. You want to make sure that you are using an eye cream. So I already used mine, and I actually have it in front of me here. And I'm using the Colleen Rothschild Illuminating Eye Cream. I love this. There's other eye creams that I love and I use as well. This one's really, really nice though because it will help to color correct. As you can see, it's got that peachy undertone to it. It's hydrating, really, really nice. So after I've prepped my skin, which is so important, and by the way, you don't have to use a primer for your foundation. You don't. Some people find that those work better. And here's the thing that I want to tell you is that you will see makeup artists, okay? They will share, like, don't use a primer. And some of them say, use a primer. Don't use a gripping primer. Use this. It's really by choice and what works best for them when they're doing makeup for other people. And it's what I do for me too. There are some primers that I use that I feel like do help as far as controlling my oil because I have oily, really oily skin. Summertime, it's just even crazier. It doesn't matter what foundation I use. So I do use primers, but you don't have to use one. You could just use a moisturizer. That's what most makeup artists use. They use moisturizers because you want to make sure that your canvas is ready to accept the foundation and everything else on top of it. So now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and do foundation. I'm going to do it a little differently than what I've shared with you. So there's different ways that I apply makeup. Sometimes I use my fingers. I've used sponge. Today I'm going to use a brush. And I'm going to use a little bit of this with it as well. This is from Dior, and this is their Forever Glow. So if you just want to really see how pretty and glowy my skin looks, but doesn't look greasy, this is really, really nice. You don't have to use this one. Use what's in your budget. But this is really just a nice one that I like to, you could either apply it all over your face first or mix it with foundation. I am going to mix it with foundation today. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm not going to use much. That's one of the biggest tips I can give you too. Don't overuse your foundation. Foundation should even out your skin tone. If you have some blemishes and things, I'm going to show you what to do next, okay? So now we're going to go in and I'm going to use this. This is the Valentino foundation. I'm going to put some of that on the back of my hand again. Just a little bit. You don't have to use much. Then I'm going to take my brush today. I'm going to use my BK Beauty brush. I'm just going to just kind of mix it all in. And now I'm going to start in the middle part of my face. I need my mirror so I can see. And I'm just going to start to tap and blend. And that's another thing too. Sometimes I see makeup artists that say, what's all that tapping for? Why are you tapping? Just blend it. And then I see other makeup artists that say you should do it that way. It's just the way they're taught. It's just what works best for them. Sometimes I blend and sometimes I tap. I do it both ways. Today I'm tapping. It's the thing about makeup. There really isn't like a wrong way to do it unless you're doing your makeup where it doesn't bring out your best features or you know what I'm saying? Then you're not doing it right. So I'm just going to blend this in. And that's one thing I will tell you too, is you really want to take the time to blend your makeup well. Really take the time. I'm gonna tell you, this was tricky to do, like, one totally side of my face. I hesitated putting the lipstick on, but I'm like, I kinda wanted to do that, um, first too, just to kinda show you. Now, when you have areas like I have some pores on here, I'll just get in there with my brush and really get it in there, but there are pore filling primers too, but you really don't need to use it. You don't. It's all on how you're applying your foundation. And with a sponge, like a damp sponge, you can really press it into your skin. So you can kind of fill those little pores just by doing it that way. Make sure you get it on your neck too. Do you see all the time I'm taking just to do this? You really want to take the time to blend, blend, blend. Okay, so once I get it blended, another thing you can do too, after you apply your foundation, is you can take another powder or foundation brush, or if you have a different sponge, you can go on over it with a clean sponge or a clean brush and just go ahead and blend it again, and it'll get any of that excess that it's on there just so it looks really, really skin-like. So next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to use a concealer. And I don't even know if I need to do it on this side. Let me see. I did it on the other side. I needed to do it with a couple spots. Yeah, I will. I'll do it a little bit by the side of my nose where I feel like I just need a little bit more. I actually have a little thing right there and right there. Just a little bit right here. Right there. I have some things going on there. So just take a little bit. Now I'm going to blend that out. I'm going to get a concealer brush. I'm going to show you another concealer brush that I use. So you can take a concealer brush like this. This one's from Rougher. And I'm just going to go ahead and just start to tap that. You could also use a cream concealer. I don't have it in front of me, but there's one from NARS that I have that you can put that on first, let that kind of melt into your skin, and then you can go over it with a foundation. But sometimes using foundation just isn't enough, so you just kind of go on over it with a concealer. And tap, tap, tap. All right. I'm going to powder, but I'm going to show you one more thing too. If for some reason you're doing this and you're like, it's not, the concealer isn't concealing, then you might want to look into a product like this. I've talked about this for years. This is from Color Science, and this is their color corrector palette. So every single color does something different. Some of them help to conceal redness, some help to conceal blue, purple, whatever. It's all in here. It's all marked on the back. And yes, this has expired, by the way, because there is a sunscreen on it, but I still use it. I actually used it on the other side today, but I don't know that I have to use it on this side. I feel like this did a pretty good job, but it's just another option to, if you have some redness and it's just not concealing or any kind of discoloration, you can use that. It comes with the little brush too. I didn't show you that, but it comes with this little brush here, or you can use a brush you already have, but I love this. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set it. Now, if you are somebody that has dry skin, then you're going to have to be careful with powder setting it. But for me, I have oily skin. You can still set your makeup even though you have dry skin. You can still set it. But what you're going to want to do is use something like MAC Fix Plus that has glycerin in it. And when you spray it on your face, it's just going to melt all your makeup together, and it is not going to look powdery. Trust me, it won't. So I'm going to take a little bit of powder, and I'm just using a Laura Mercier powder brush here. And I'm tapping it off, or you could even take it in your hand and do it that way. I'm just going to start right here and start to powder. And I did not do my concealer first, which I normally do, but it's okay. Usually I do my concealer before I do all this powder, but it's all right. This is one thing, and that's why I've done so many videos on this, and I'm going to keep doing videos on it. It's the one area mature women struggle with the most is the under eye area. So you want to make sure that this is hydrated. If you have dry, patchy, crepey skin, then your concealer is not going to look good. And by the way, you don't have to use a concealer. You don't. You could just take your foundation and work it up under there. If you don't have any dark circles, you can do that. I do. I know on camera it doesn't look like I do, but I do. See that right there? So I do. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. It's my favorite. It's from Sicily, but it's all in the technique. I say that so many times in videos. I will put everything below that I'm using in this video, but it's not about what I'm using. It's all in the technique. All right. So I'm going to take this and now I'm going to go right here. And I like to get it in that area too, because that's where I have some discoloration. And then I'm going to work it on down. I didn't get enough. I'm going to get a little bit more. There we go. It's best to do a little bit at a time than to put too much on. So now I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit more right there. And I like to keep it in that area. I'm just wiping my brush off right now. I have a little towel on my lap, so I'm going to take it and I'm just going to start to tap it. Keep it right there. And then as I'm blending it, blend it out, you can take your finger and get the rest of it. But the biggest thing that I will tell you with this is less is more. If you put on too much concealer, it's going to crease. I don't think I set the other eye yet. No, I didn't. So I think I'm going to do both of these right now. I'm going to set it. You don't have to do this part. You can totally skip this part. I like to do it because I like to kick down that little shine under my eyes. I just like to use this powder from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm barely using any, and I tap it on. But if you find that you can't do it, then you don't have to do this. What you can do before, like after you do your concealer, take a tissue, a Kleenex tissue. I'm going to cut this in half because I used it for my lipstick. So take a tissue and just kind of go like this and tap it, and you're going to get that little bit of top layer off, and then it'll kind of kick down that shine a little bit without powdering it. So here we are. We got our powder done and everything. Now I don't do bronzer so much anymore. I'm not going to do it in this video. Maybe another video I'll do a bronzer because you could totally do that. But I don't always do bronzer. Sometimes I just want to wear something like just really, really simple makeup. I wanted this to be simple because I feel like not everybody wants to do 20 steps of makeup. You might be on vacation and just want something quick, or are you going out and you just don't want to do everything? So that's what this video is for. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to use this, and this is Maiden's Blush from RMS. So I'm going to use, actually I'm going to use my my Chanel blush brush. I'm just loving this lately. So I'm going to go ahead and with this. And this is how I do it. And again, this is like, I see some makeup artists say no, but I like to actually tap my blush on more than, I don't always sweep it. And the reason that I don't for me is sometimes I feel like even though I powder, sometimes I can disturb makeup underneath, especially since I put a little bit extra concealer on. So I feel like if I'm in there sweeping it, even though I've already set it, sometimes it can take some of it off. So I like to tap. That's, you know. So again, I'm going in here and I'm going to build it up and do a little bit at a time because you don't want to look like a circus clown. But I will tell you that as we age, we definitely lose color in our face and our cheeks. And we need to put that back in. Now, one thing is when you're tapping your face too like this, I feel like when, especially for me, when I tap it, it looks a lot darker. And then as it sits, I think, oh my gosh, where did my blush go? So sometimes I end up doing more. And I'm probably one of those people that has blush blindness. But anyways, once I get the blush on the way I want it, I think I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more because I'm going to actually put a little bit of finishing powder on. This one they don't make anymore. It's from YSL, but I wanted to pull it up because I need to use it. So I'm just going to use some of this, and it's just a finishing powder. I like to put that on around the edges because I feel like it just gives my blush a very, kinda airbrushed look, just really softens it up. So if you feel like you put your blush on and it's a little bit too bold, go over it with a little bit of a finishing powder and do this. And again, you can go over if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want too much powder. I don't want too much of that on. Then just go ahead and set it with some MAC Fix Plus, and then you'll take away that powdery look. Let's get into the eyes. So the first thing that I like to do with my eyes, and this by the way is just one shadow and a little bit of bronzer. So I like to go in with this. This is a cream eyeshadow that I use as a primer. It's creaseless. It's wonderful. It's from MAC. And I like the color because it's just a good base for me because you saw all the veining that I have there. So what this is going to do is it's going to conceal all that. It's going to work a lot better than a concealer or a foundation. I just don't find that those work as well. They don't help to prevent any creasing for me. I feel like it could make it worse, so I like to use something like this or an eyeshadow primer. And I like to put it on with a brush, by the way, too. Again, it conceals the veining and discoloration that I have in my eyes, but also I'm not going to have to keep on applying an eyeshadow on top of it to cover it. So I'm actually using less eyeshadow by doing that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this eyeshadow. This is from Laura Mercier. I'll put it below, but let me tell you the color. It's called burnished bronze, but it's so pretty. So this is what I do, really easy. So I just go down here, apply it, and I get it right up there. But I don't take any further than that. So it's like my lid and just like underneath my bone there. I'm going to take my Reference number 12 brush, and I'm going to just start to lightly buff this. And you can always add more if you need more. But this is where I'm taking it up to my crease. I'm going to do a little bit more. Super easy to do. One eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take this. You could just use any bronzer here. This is called I think this is Crystal Slipper. Yeah, this is Crystal Slipper, actually. I believe it's a blush. I thought it was a bronzer, but I believe that's a blush. Does it say? Yes. So I thought I used a bronzer, but I use this Crystal Slipper from RMS. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. And this is the Refer 15 brush. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that. And then I'll just go right at that crease area and just kind of blend it up a little bit. Kind of helps to lift my eye up a little bit more without having too much, eyeshadow on. Now I'm going to take that same caviar stick. I'm going to go right underneath here. Then I'm going to take my smudger brush. Actually, I'm going to use this one. So I think that's the one I used. And I used a little bit of this blush on top of it too. And then I just went under here and just smudge that out. I like to have a little bit of dimension underneath my eyes. And this is nice because it's not too much. So if you are somebody that you struggle with your eyeliner is transferring, this is going to be a game changer for you, okay? I used to always put it on my tight line. I usually don't have an issue. Sometimes it transfers, and then sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. But it's not so much in the eyeliner you use, it's all in the technique. So I would love to show you this on camera. So I'm going to kind of explain it, but I'm going to do it differently on camera because I cannot see what I'm doing. And if I'm in a mirror, you can't see. So what you want to do is you want to take this and your brush like this, and you want to kind of open up your eye a little bit like that. Okay. And then you want to put it right where your lashes are, not where your waterline is or your tight line. you want to put it where your lashes. So basically you're scrubbing. So I'm going to show you this way. And this is actually the way I like to do it anyway. So, and this should be more sharpened than it is, but this is my Charlotte Tilbury Barbara Brown, and she discontinued it. So I'm not going to sharpen it, but I would advise having a more sharpened pencil. Okay. So don't do as don't do as I'm doing. Do as I say. So I'm just putting it right. See where I'm putting it? So it's really just like scrubbing your lashes. You're just putting it on your lashes. That way when you do that, it's going to make your eyelashes look thicker, but you're not going to have the transfer. I saw a makeup artist, Trevor, share this. It's the only person I've ever seen share this. So he's on TikTok. I don't think he has a YouTube. It's like that. Then I'm going to take a different eyeliner brush because I do need it sharpened to do this. And this is from Laura Mercier. Close my eye and I'm going to kind of lay my pencil down. And I'm going to go right on top of my lashes. I'm just doing a really, really skinny line here. And then I'm going to just flick it up a little bit with a little bit of a kind of a flick like that. And then I'll just take my nail too or whatever. And I just kind of do little short little flicks. See that? Just to kind of give it a little bit of a wing. Because what it does is it's going to lift the end of my eye a little bit. And what I like about doing a little bit of a flick like that, it's kind of like when you do those lashes at the end of your eyelashes. If you just do like a little area like right at the end there, it just kind of lifts your eye. That's what this does. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to curl my eyelashes. And I'm going to use my rougher lash curler. And I do two. So I just kind of get kind of at the bottom and then I get a little bit at the top. So it kind of curls my lashes up. And then I'm going to take my mascara. And you guys know I use several. I might even add more to the other side. But first we're going to do this. I'm going to get onto the brows next, and then we're going to do lips. Let's do the brows. So today I am actually going to use the RMS brows because this makes it so easy. So I'm just going to take my brush here and brush them up. I'm going to take this, tap, tap, and then we're going to just follow. Now I did see Trevor talk about putting your liner up here. Since I'm not using liner, I'm doing it this way. Everybody does it differently. Like I said, I've seen Rosemary, she's shares it differently too, how to do the brows. It just really, it's just like personal preference. That's why I've told you guys before, I don't like when I see people say, I only listen to makeup artists, but they're all different. They all share different tips. One's gonna tell you to do it one way and one's gonna tell you to do it the opposite way. And it doesn't make either one of them wrong, but makeup is makeup and makeup is very creative. And you can go to school for makeup, but that doesn't always mean that you're the best at at that craft. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I worked in a hair salon and there's some people I would never, ever let them touch my hair. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. So look how easy that was. Now, what I would do too is I would put a little bit of gel on it. I don't have any in front of me, but that'll keep your brows in place all day too. I'm going to put a little bit more mascara on. Like I said, I like to do several coats. That's just personal. I know some people don't like that, but I really like my lashes to stand out. One thing I don't personally do is I don't put mascara on my lower lashes. I just feel like I can drag my eye down too much. That's why I'd rather do a little bit of this because I feel like it's a little softer for me. So let's talk about lips. Now, I personally like to do a little bit of a pop color like this. And let me show you. I'll show you really quick, even though I did this side already. I'm going to show you. I think I have it in here somewhere. Oh, yes, I believe this is it. So this is from This is from Laura Mercier. I don't really care for these lipsticks because they're very scented, like over, like too much. But I'm going to show you because, well, I'm going to show you like this without a liner too, because I need to make a point. Because I saw somebody saying that you shouldn't overline your lips. I see people say that, and I really feel like it depends on the lips. If I don't overdraw my lips, my lips don't look even, and it will look like I don't have any. And there's other women out there. I know you guys probably feel the same way. Maybe you have really small lips, and if you just put lipstick on, it's like you can't even freaking see it. So this is a very nude color. Okay, let's put it on. Now, what side looks better on me? The dead side or this side? This is too nude for me. If I wore this, I look like a corpse. It's not very attractive. What would make this better is a dark liner, would make it look better, but still not the best color. Look at each side. Let's do this side. Like that. How can I do it? Like, hold on. I'm like the opposite there. Do you see? Like, it doesn't do anything for me. It totally washes me out. Where this side, look at how my face looks more alive. So I'm not personally a fan of nude lipsticks. I used to wear a lot. When I had red hair, and I did wear a dark liner with it. And I was always afraid to wear a color like this because I thought it was too bold. And some people might think their lips are going to look smaller with it. I used to think that too, but if you are wearing a color that's too nude, it's just going to make you look dead. And I definitely don't want that look. So let me show you. I'm going to take Super Size Me from Charlotte Tilbury, and that's what I do. First, actually, before I do that, hold on. First thing I need to do is I need to set this with a little bit of setting powder. Then I'm going to take my lip liner, and I'm going to start here. And I have to go outside to create more of a lip for me. I'm not being obnoxious with it, but I am overdrawing it. And then the bottom part I don't overdraw. Now, sometimes I fill in my lips too with my lip liner and then apply my lipstick, and that will definitely keep my lipstick on longer, but I didn't want to change the color of this lipstick, and it will change it if I do that, so I'm not doing that. Okay, so then I'll take a tissue and blot it. And then I will put a little bit more powder on it. Because again, I am putting this on my skin. You know, it's above my lips, so. And then I go over it again. And then I'll go ahead and put my lip color on. And today I wanted to do something different. Because I haven't used this in a while, actually. And this is from Chanel. I bought this several years ago when these came out. So I don't even know what year. And this is in the color Wake Up Pink. And I'm going to get my lip pencil or liner for it. This is my lip brush. Definitely recommend it with this. Otherwise, it's going to be a goopy mess. You can use this on your cheeks, by the way, too. I just decided not to. But I have a tip for you with that in a second. See how pretty that looks, that pop of color? I think that looks so much better than having dead lips. Makeup is just personal. So if you like it and you want to wear a really nude, then you do you. Okay. But I just saw a video with Martha Stewart where she was wearing it, and it just made her lips look, because she does have small lips, but it made her lips look smaller, and just it didn't do anything for her. I feel like this just brightens up my face more. I'm going to put a little bit more mascara on because I told you that I would. I'm just gonna do a little bit more. So that's it. Really simple. So I wanted to tell you something about if you're using a cream. If you're wearing, you want to wear a cream blush, what you could do, especially if you have oily skin. If you have dry skin, you don't have to worry about it so much, but it will probably last longer if you do this. If you there's two ways you can do it, but I feel like the first way is probably going to be the better way. But what you can do is you can wear a cream blush and then you can go over it with a powder blush. And what that's going to do is it's going to help to set it so it doesn't, so it stays on you. Um, you can do it the opposite way though, because Patrick Ta, his blushes are where you put the powder on first and then the cream on top. But I feel like the powder works better as far as it lasting longer, but it looks really, really pretty the opposite way too. So just another thing. And, if you wanted to do a little bit of a highlighter, you can just use something like this if you have dry skin. This is from Vive, and this is their Skin Dew. It's really, really pretty. I'm not gonna put it on because you can see I'm very, very glowy. If you use, like a blush like this, you really don't need to do anything like that because my skin looks glowy. But you just use a tiny, tiny amount. You can put it on with your fingers and just, like, tap it on. That kind of thing. What's nice about there's something flying in here, it's driving me bananas. But what's nice about this is it just looks really natural. I'll put it in the back of my hand. It just looks really pretty and glowy when you put it on. Like, see how it is? It just looks wet and it looks pretty. It doesn't look over the top glowy. It's just really, really pretty and subtle. So that's what I wanted to create for you guys today. I just wanted to create something that's a little bit more fresh and just simple, nothing complicated. Hopefully this video was helpful if you were struggling with some things as far as makeup. Um, if there's anything that you're struggling with, please let me know in the comments for you, and I will create a video doing that. I really appreciate when you guys reach out to me and just share that because there's somebody else that's dealing with the same thing, so it's really, really helpful. So that is where I'm going to leave it today. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, I would love to have you join. I share new videos every single week. Please consider smashing that subscribe button below. It is free. I would greatly appreciate it if you've enjoyed this. Please, before you leave, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, like, share, leave a comment. Helps to push my videos out to the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.